Value. What is it? What does it mean? Why does it drive people so crazy sometimes? My name is Werner Puchert, and this is Finding Frequency. Am I going to start talking about business again? Perhaps. And it's strange. A lot of the conversations I'm having the past couple of days is all about value. And it always boils down to value because even for me, like when I go into conversations and I talk to potential clients, I always try and find a way to figure out how I can add personally value to them. And the only way you can add value is by understanding what it is they need and then seeing if you can fulfill or fill that gap, that value gap. Can I call it the value gap? It's strange because I also talk to a lot of folks, and I don't want to sound like I am talking down to people. I think it's easier to see it from the outside than when you're in this space. But let me give you an example. When you have a product that you want to sell, or you've been working for months and years on a book or a product or something, you wanna share it. You're excited about it. And I'm also like that. I create these little moments, and some of them land, some of them don't. And at the end of the day, I'm excited to share with you that, hey, I did this. And maybe you will recognize it and say, hey, Vanna, good job. And we like that. It's good to be recognized. But the problem is that in most cases, in my opinion, people are always seeking what the value is for them. It's a natural state. I don't necessarily think it's like a selfishness or, screw you, Vanna, we don't care about you. I mean, I definitely don't feel that. I've had so many people in the last couple of days give me some of their time, give me some valuable insight. Met with Terry again last night. She gave me a lot of value and a lot of feedback. So it's not about selfishness, but the thing is, the way you set yourself up is you need to kind of consider, and if you want to do business, of course, what is the value you bring to other people? And this is also the big challenge with finding frequency and playing around on LinkedIn. And for me, for the most part, lots of times it's just about me exploring and experimenting. My vibe is kind of trying to pivot and twist and try and figure out, what I can do where I have fun, and then potentially it becomes fun for you or it brings value for you. That's sometimes a bit difficult to do because it's stressful, because you hit and miss. Sometimes your content hits and sometimes no one cares. And sometimes things hit that you don't expect it would hit. So it's difficult. I mean, the other thing is also that, I don't want to go into this whole content space, but it's also about consistency and trying over and over again. But reversing out to what my original conversation was about, or what the thought in my mind at the moment was really, identifying value. And even with my potential client that I spoke to today, I mentioned it yesterday briefly. We had a good conversation today, and I'm going to do some extra work to try and show value. But a deep conversation we had today around some of the challenges my potential client is facing, one of the issues is we needed to figure out who are we actually trying to create value for. And I think that's also a very important thing to consider in your engagement with people is sometimes some people don't care because the value that you bring to the table is not relevant for them. And that's okay. And I think the reason I just added it here to my little episode for the week is that it's become kind of a big topic for me in the last couple of days. Not only personally, just listening to some of my colleagues that I work with some of the other clients, that they are really struggling to see how they are supposed to either define or create value for an audience that they want to serve, or perhaps recognizing that if they don't do certain things, there is no value for people to engage. And I am super surprised by very experienced people not getting it. When you push out an event or a marketing initiative or anything, I always use this analogy, and And funny enough, and maybe you can let me know if this works for you or not, but they don't get it. I always believe that if you host an event or something, you are inviting someone, even if you create content, you are inviting someone to a party. Now, if I invite you to a party and I don't give you a little bit of context, like when the party is going to start, the basic functional things, that's cool. But then perhaps I need to position the party a little bit. Is it a birthday party? Is it a party to celebrate a national event? What should I wear? Who else is going to be there? And the more you build this context and value out, because please come to my party because I'm going to have very interesting people talking about X, Y, and Z. Or perhaps there's going to be free gifts. Perhaps there's going to be a clown doing magic tricks. Those are the best. But people don't get it. And then what happens is we also try and invite people to parties. And then those people happen to be CEOs and very senior business people. And those people don't even answer an email. You have to get past someone else. So how do you think your non-value is going to pass by all these blocks and then reach that inbox where the CEO is going to magically click and say, yes, I want to be at your party with no clowns or even a time. Anyways, I'm being facetious and talking way too much, but it's interesting how perhaps my analogy really sucks or how some folks don't see that. But then I also realize that I need to be switched on about it because sometimes you get too excited about your own things. So when it comes to extraordinary, don't only think about your own extraordinary vibes. Perhaps also think about the extraordinary that you create for someone else. And I've mentioned it here before. And you know what the cool thing is about doing it for someone else? It just adds more satisfaction because it's a little bit selfish when you just enjoy things on your own. When you create a little bit of happiness for someone else, man, that's rewarding. Anyways, that's just me riffing a little bit on value. Something that came up a lot today. So I don't want to take up any more of your valuable time. Thanks for listening.